Hello and welcome to Oakville Matters. This is the show thanks to Kojiko TV and Your TV, as the community channel is known, where we get to go after the issues that matter most to Oakville. And today, what we're going to do is we've assembled a huge panel of people to talk about what we're going to do for recreation this winter. And I won't give away the punny title that has been adopted. I'll let one of my guests reveal that. I'll just introduce you all now. We have Julie Mitchell, who's the Town of Oakville's Senior Manager of Recreation Planning and Development. We've got Rebecca Edgar from Visit Oakville. She runs that shop. Maureen Healey is the Executive Director of the Bronte BIA. Adrienne Gordon is the not brand new, but relatively new Executive Director of the Downtown Oakville BIA. And my good friend Doug Sams is the longest running BIA Executive Director, and that's the Kerr Street Village BIA. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Who wants to be the one to reveal the punny name for our winter approach to recreation? Put your hand up or just go for it. Just somebody say it.
Julie, it has to be you.
Mm-hmm. Well, if nobody else wants to reveal it, I will. It's there's Snow Place Like Home. That's our.
I love it.
I wish I thought of it.
I wish I could take credit, but it was the team that came up with it here in our marketing area. So very happy with it.
I can tell you, my kids, when they hear that, are going to say that's dad humor, and I'm going to get blamed for it.
You can have credit for it.
I'll get free credit for it, I guess is what you call it.
There you go.
So, well, since you started us off that way, what exactly do we get for Snow Place Like Home?
Well, we have a wide range of things, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some because there's so many. We were really focused on here at the town of trying to keep our residents engaged in physical activity, both recreation and culture opportunities, and knowing that we're currently in the provincial red or restrict health and safety measures, and potentially down the road going into lockdown, wanted to be able to encourage and give opportunities for Oakville residents to stay active with all of the capacity restrictions that go along with those different classifications. So we've expanded a number of pre-existing activities, as well as added some new outdoor winter recreation opportunities. I'll give you a bit of a high level, and then if you want a little more detail as we go through. So we always had a natural skating rink program where residents could support an outdoor rink in their neighborhood park. We've obviously continued with that and expanded that, including adding some sites that will be maintained by staff, including Coronation Park, as well as 4 other locations where we're adding natural rinks that will be maintained for the community. We also have our existing refrigerated outdoor rink at Trafalgar Park. So we've expanded the available times at that location, which are, before COVID, it was already a busy, popular site. So we've implemented a pre-booking system, so you can pre-register, so you're not disappointed if it's full with the capacity restrictions. So that opens up this Saturday. So we're looking forward to bringing that online. Our parks and open spaces team is maintaining some of our tennis and pickleball courts over the winter. So we've left the nets up, which we traditionally take down at the end of October, and they'll be keeping those surfaces clean. So weather permitting, you'll be able to enjoy activities on those spaces. So we can't treat them with salts and sand. The safety of the players as well as the courts, but where you have a above freezing day, certainly will keep them clear of snow, and people can enjoy that.
Well, Julie,
yeah,
it seems to me that we're doing actually more than we usually do, and it's a vast and amazing list. is there a handy web page on oakville.ca where people can go after the show to firm up the details for themselves, or should they be taking notes now?
There is all the information is available on oakville.ca in a few different pages. There is an outdoor recreation site. If you Google it or do a search on oakville.ca for winter recreation, or their snow place like home, yes, you can find all the information and locations there. And as we add activities and facilities to the menu, then that will be updated on a regular basis.
And super. And let's come back to the town activities, especially the ones that have changed and been enhanced in just a second. But first, let's ask Maureen to give us an overview of the Bronte BIA's winter program.
Thanks, Mayor Burton. So if you may recall, in the past few summers since 2017, we've been doing the At Home in Bronte Muskoka Chair project. So that usually involves getting about 100 or more community groups, businesses, families together to paint a plain Muskoka chair. Of course, we couldn't do that this past spring because of restrictions on people gathering. So what we have done is we've hired 6 local artists to paint the 50 chairs. And they've now been installed throughout the Bronte district, as well as in the Bronte Heritage Waterfront Park. So people can use the chairs, they can have a coffee from a local coffee shop, sit in the chairs, but they can also walk around and look at them because they're beautiful art pieces. And a little trick or tip, there's a hidden lighthouse icon on each chair. So if you're looking for a scavenger hunt for kids, each chair has one, some obvious, not so obvious, and you can find them as you go in your walkabout throughout the district.
And do the kids, take a snapshot on their phone or something to?
Yep, they can take a snapshot. Yep, and they can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bronte Events, and we're happy to share those photos.
Well, thanks for that. Doug, what excitement do you have planned for the winter for the Kerr Street BIA?
Well, what we've tried to do is we started a holiday program where we have season's greetings, shopping in Kerr Village, and support our local merchants for the holidays. And then we've had a virtual tree lighting, which we will share on social media maybe tomorrow or latter part of this week. And we're also helping to promote the Kerr Street Mission Families in Need program. They have gift cards available, and there's a lot of families that are in need. Safety obviously being our biggest concern. We haven't done anything that would promote extremely large gatherings, but our merchants have done a great job of keeping everything safe. So the shops are very safe to go in. We've got our wreaths up, we've got our street lit. So we are ready for a festive holiday season.
Well, that's good to hear. And my new haircut was courtesy of Johnny's Barbershop on Kerr Street just yesterday. So there's
I've
a
visited there a number of times myself, even though I don't take very long.
Yeah, they work longer on me than on you.
Yes,
for
for
some
sure.
reason. Now, Adrienne, in the downtown BIA, you've got a lot to celebrate, and you've got a brand new look to the place. What are your plans?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we're very excited. With the reopening of the downtown core a few weeks back, really kicked off the season early for us in terms of getting our new holiday decor up through the open streets, and in particular, what we're calling our must-see ribbon tree that's located in Town Square has really been a delight, both to the merchants and the community, just being able to really celebrate themselves in terms of having a newly and beautiful open downtown. So within that, we really tried to wrap everything into our hometown holiday campaign, which is really about folks exploring and encouraging them to get out and support their hometown, whether it be just through strolling along the extra wide sidewalks, supporting local, whether it be in person or virtually online with our new virtual gift guide. We've really tried to find ways for folks just to be able to be outside and enjoy the newly downtown Oakville. We're also supporting the local toy drive. Again, encouraging folks to come down and stroll downtown and also drop off a toy at our Centennial location. So really just, a few little initiatives that allow people to really get in the holiday spirit safely and also have a chance to have a bit of that spirit as we continue through the holiday.
Well, I was there last night, and I have to say, I didn't see any dangerous crowding. Everybody was respecting, everyone was keeping their distance. That's the first thing to say. And we will avoid lockdown if we can keep doing that, maybe even get out of red. But what I noticed was that all the parking was taken. And so people are down there. And when I walk about, the merchants and the passersby tell me that the attendance to downtown is everything they hoped for. Are you getting that reaction from your members?
Yes, we are. We did a follow-up post our launch weekend of November 28th and speaking with our members, and really across the board, they mirrored the same sentiment. They had an amazing turnout. In addition to that turnout, there was also a lot of safety measures and checks and balances that happened throughout that entire weekend. And no issues, just people really wanting to come out and support local across the board, and having an opportunity to finally do that and finding ways that the feedback has been so positive from everyone.
Last night, I saw a new storefront that I hadn't noticed before. Extensive work has been done to remodel a place. It's a gourmet restaurant called Shanghai Alley.
Yes.
What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so all I know is we saw the same. So we know from what we hear, they're coming out of Toronto. They're extending a second location to Oakville. They see that as a great opportunity and location to expand. And I've heard nothing, but great kind of tidbits of the food being amazing. So we've kind of put our feelers out to see what more we can find out. But we've absolutely had lots of interest in the last little while, and folks wanting to find a spot here in downtown Oakville. So we're very pleased with that.
Well, that's very interesting because just recently we learned that another Toronto restaurant with a big name, Piano, is opening a branch in Oakville as well.
Yes.
Now, if there's too many people downtown for your taste, or in Bronte or in Kerr Street, do you guys have virtual programs as well, or internet marketing programs as well? Can you visit and shop in our BIAs electronically? I guess I'll call it.
Yeah, I mean, for our Oakville, downtown Oakville, we have launched our virtual gift guide that features over 35 of our local businesses. And you can find that virtual gift guide located on our website at oakvilledowntown.com. And this virtual guide actually allows you to shop in whatever form is comfortable for you and the way that the merchant would transact. So you can click through the guide and be directed right to their e-commerce site. If they're not doing e-commerce, you can be directed to the store directly for curbside pickup. So it's been a really well-received tool, both from the community and from the merchants, to support in however someone might want to support local. This is one vehicle and channel that gives folks those options to do so.
Well, as I understand it, the Digital Main Street program, which the town staff, economic development staff have connected people with, was available town-wide. North of the QEW and the shopping centers, I've heard of uptake. Bronte and BIA, Bronte BIA and Kerr Street BIA, what's been the story there? Are you also doing that?
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. I was going to do the same, that we've had quite a pickup on the Digital Main Street program. In particular, a good example is Eco Philosophy. It's a new business in our area. They now have an e-commerce site on their website, and we have quite a few businesses that are now doing e-commerce and or figuring out how to manage their inventory supply using a Digital Main Street, doing social media. So they've really jumped on the bandwagon for Digital Main Street. In particular, businesses now that have closed, we have a couple of restaurants that have closed because of the red zone restrictions. So they're definitely doing online curbside pickup and delivery.
Yeah. Well, on that note, Doug, before I ask you about Digital Main Street, but that's just too good a point to jump in. Let me just speak to, I want to break the fourth wall and speak to the audience. If you're watching this and you're concerned about the viability of our restaurants, you could write to the Premier, as I have, and ask him to make the rules the same for the little guys as they are for the big guys. Big guys have a rule, big stores, big chains. Their rules about how many people you can have is based on how many people can fit inside and keep their distance. But the little guys, no matter how much room they have inside, they're restricted to 10 or 5, depending on what the context is. It would be a whole lot fairer if everybody was playing by the same rules. And so if you're watching and you want to help your local folks, that's something that you could think of doing besides ordering takeout and so on. Doug, how about you and Kerr Street and digital?
Well, Digital Main Street has had a tremendous impact on all of our BIAs in Oakville, but especially Kerr Village. The last 2 years, we've had a pretty good number of people that have taken advantage of the program. The most important thing is to have an online presence, which many of them have done. So they are taking orders online. You can go online and shop and look at menus and order, have it delivered, curbside or takeout. It's been quite successful. The ones that have been online have done a good job. We posted a while back, we posted links to our merchants that were doing delivery and takeout and curbside and even inside dining now to the limitations. We posted those links so everybody has access. Our business directory pretty much has everybody's website listed on it. So we've been directing people there. It's been very successful. And I would like to allude to your point, Mayor Burton. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, or it's just the way the rules are. They seem to don't mind a large crowd in Costco, but when you have a restaurant that can seat 100 or 200 people, it seems more realistic to have a percentage that you're able to seat rather than a limit of 10 or whatever, I think. And the restaurants, many of the restaurants and small businesses have not been hot spots because they've done a good job. People started wearing masks in Oakville well before it was mandated. So, kudos to all the people in Oakville. And, I think if we keep doing those things, you just got to make decisions that make sense and not paint everybody with the same brush. So thank you for that opportunity.
Well, amen. And it's worth saying, in our 3 BIAs, we have not yet had a case traced back to any of the restaurants or shops in our BIAs. And that tells you, A, how good everybody's been about following the rules, and B, there's a kind of an unfairness thing going on here. And I do hope that people will help us try to get that. I mean, they say that the whole COVID thing has been, what's the expression? The science has been evolving. Well, I'm hoping that the rules can do a little evolving too, not to make too fine a point on it. I want to make sure I mention that Tell Us Small Business has an interesting promotion. And Adrienne, I know that you guys are participating in it. Do you want to just mention that? And then if Maureen and Doug, if you're in on it too, we'll speak up, and otherwise we'll go to Julie to round out the town's offerings in snow business like recreation at home. Adrienne?
Yeah, so thank you. So we were able to Tell a Small Business actually reached out to us a couple months ago. Again, we've had an enormous amount of outreach from the community just wanting to find ways that they can help support and contribute to supporting local business. And through just sort of a few discussions, we were able to come up with a way to support local through Tell a Small Business, where they have offered up a prizing where for 3 gift cards of $500, participants and the winners will be able to spend those dollars in whatever downtown local business of their choice. So they really came to the table with being able to help us create a campaign that also distributes our virtual gift guide and engages customers in the community through an opportunity to support local even further through their generous offerings. So it's been a great extension of our campaign and ability to bring in businesses that really want to help.
Well, thank you for that. Rebecca, in Visit Oakville, what's your prognosis? What's your forecast for how we're going to do on visits to Oakville, not just in the holiday season, but in the year ahead?
I think we're all looking forward to the vaccine being rolled out and being able to move around a little more into the spring and summer. I think we've heard some pretty bright forecasts about the fall. So I think planning ahead, looking to get back to more normal by that time period. In the meantime, we know people are really itching and trying to find new things to do. So there's no place like home is a perfect fit for that need right now. And Visit Oakville's published a variety of itineraries that you can find on our website that will help residents navigate all the different things going on, including There's No Place Like Home and the different activities in the BIA. So I'd encourage people to visit that site if they're looking for some ideas of what to do right now. We also have an Oakville themed passport in the Great Taste of Ontario campaign, which is run by Ontario, the Culinary Tourism Alliance. And if residents are interested in checking that out, they can find that online as well at ontarioculinary.com. So check that out for things to do. And that's another way to get people moving around town, supporting local business, dining, shopping, and so on.
That's very cool. Thank you. I'd like to add, because I do get this criticism. People write me, a few do anyway, and I'd like to speak to it, that they're not sure it's wise to be encouraging visitors to Oakville from outside of Oakville. Mm-hmm. And they worry that people will come from Toronto or Peel and bring the disease with them. But I just want to mention that we've always had visitors throughout the pandemic from other places because we've always been an attractive place to visit. Mm-hmm. And nevertheless, we still haven't had cases in our BIAs, the places where people are coming to visit. And that's because the shop owners, the restaurant owners and the shop mm-hmm. owners know better than anybody else that their livelihood and the health of their people depend upon enforcing the rules. And I've witnessed it. I've witnessed our visitors behaving well, following the rules, and the guidance from the medical officer of health, the rules, they actually work. Stay home if you're ill, only go out for essentials, wash your hands, and keep your distance. And wear a mask when you can't keep your distance or if you're indoors. Those actually work. I've never actually seen anybody except one little group of Oakville teenagers misbehave on that front. And I watched the shopkeeper throw them out and told them, don't come back till you grow up. So,
or at least till you put a mask on.
Well, there's a momism and a dadism to Oakville that I never get tired of. This is really a family town, and people are all in Oakville. So
Mayor Burton, if I could,
there's a reassurance that people get from that, I hope. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's definitely true, and we're so fortunate to live in a community that has that. I just wanted to mention local hotels as another way people can support local right now. If they're looking for a quiet workspace or a meeting space where they can safely distance, or if they're in the need of isolation, we have 10 local hotels, and people can get more info on our website as well at visitoakville.com.
Well, thank you for that. And as I said, Julie, in the 2 minutes that's left, give us some more highlights from the town's program that I shortened you from at the start of the show.
That's quite all right. As you mentioned earlier, people can find out all the information at oakville.ca. One of our newest initiatives this year, I believe you were there on Friday night, Mayor Burton, our festive light show installation at Coronation Park, which was our replacement for not having our Santa Claus parade occurring. Somehow Mayor Burton managed to get Santa to show up to Oakville twice this year. So he was here for a fireside chat at Oakville Center a couple of weeks ago, and again on Friday night for the Oakville firefighters toy drive, which was got over 1,000 cars come through, all safely distanced, and had a great turnout and great support from the community in that event. Some of the other outdoor activities, our Parks and Open Spaces team are supporting our grooming snowshoe and cross-country ski trails if we get the snow. They're going to keep some trails free of snow for cycling throughout the winter, so keep people off the roads on their bikes and be able to provide some additional opportunities that way. We have a wide range of virtual and online programs available for residents of all ages. We've been doing, particularly in the senior services area, all the way through the pandemic. So we've got a number of programs to reach out to isolated seniors and staying in contact with those members. We have a number of initiatives for youth, both in person through partnerships with Oakville Public Library, Kerr Street Missions, the YMCA of Oakville, and some other organizations to support our youth through the pandemic. And then we have a wide range of indoor activities that are still permitted in our facilities. Our community sport organizations continue to operate what types of programs they can. We have fitness and aquatics still going, and I see we're running out of time. So again, oakville.ca has all the information for the services that are available through the winter.
Well, I thank you all very much for the time you spent today to help people understand that there's plenty of ways to continue to stay active. And, you know, in addition to all the good advice from the medical officers of health about staying away from COVID and not getting ill with that, they also advise exercise. And they do consider that that's an essential purpose for which you can leave your home. And I can tell you that walking with my wife, I get the impression that the entire town has taken up that advice with glee and zeal. So I'll see you on the trails as the winter progresses. Thanks very much for joining us today. And I hope that you'll let me know whatever you want covered on Oakville Matters. Thanks for watching.